The idea that these folks wouldn't buy on Amazon is going away very quickly.
I think they're going to be doing between $75 to $100 billion in GMV. Would you say that in the next 2 years, Amazon Business could be the largest MRO B2B distributor? Yeah.
We've been on a tear this week talking about Amazon Business, looking at Zorro and Grainger and what's going on with B2B distributors. Now another article comes out, the study that says, surprise, surprise, MRO buyers, that's maintenance, repair, and operations, these large customers, the large customers that were never supposed to want to go work with Amazon, are now primed for new channels, i.e. Amazon Business. Joined by Nick Johnson, co-author with me on Modern Monopolies.
So interesting thing about this too is it said that many of these large buyers are already doing something like 10 to 30% of certain kinds of products that they're already buying on Amazon. So the idea that these folks wouldn't buy on Amazon is going away very quickly. And I think the other takeaway from that article is that they're about to do a lot more buying, and they see Amazon integrating more and more with big customers, doing things like integrating into their ERP systems and building all the kinds of things in integrations with big customers that for a long time, folks in the industry said, oh, Amazon would never do this. And that's clearly not the case. That's why we talked earlier about this week about how there's an analyst who, I think it might have been RBC, predicted them like 30 billion over the next 4 or 5 years. This is part of why.
Well, no, the analyst was saying they're going to do 50 billion in GMV, and he's low.
30 billion in revenue.
30 billion in revenue, but 50 billion in GMV. So they're going to quintuple GMV, and he was low. I think they're going to be doing between $75 to $100 billion in GMV. He said by 2023.
Right.
This year, I expect Amazon Business to do between $15 to $20 billion in GMV. I've heard from good sources that they're doing around $7 billion in just MRO.
Wow.
MRO is a little over $100 billion just in the United States. So that means they've got, say, 7% market share. Grainger's only doing like 10 or 11-ish billion dollars totally, and they are an MRO B2B distributor. So, would you say that in the next 2 years, Amazon Business could be the largest MRO B2B distributor? Yeah, I'd say so. Which would give them basically a 5-year run because they've been at it since 2016.
Right.
It's 2019. So by 2021, 5 years into it, the largest B2B distributor in MRO, which is the most commoditized part of any B2B vertical.
It was one of the most formidable areas they identified early on.
Yep. Has now been overtaken by Amazon. Yeah. I think that's going to happen. Yeah. It's just, and now you're seeing it go into the large accounts. Oof, this is bad news.
This is what you see with platforms is they start, as Amazon did, bottom up, a lot of smaller buyers and sellers going after tail spend and this kind of background stuff in order to just build that initial liquidity. And once they have that, then they can start going up the value chain and up the food chain. So this idea that we can retreat to value-added services, we can focus on big customers. It works in the short term, but it isn't going to be a way to beat Amazon in the long term, I don't think.
Yikes. Well, hey, honestly, it's on them. It's entirely on the incumbents. Like the incumbents that cry foul and say, "Oh, Amazon, it's not fair." Don't believe them. This was entirely in their ability to combat this. I mean, MRO is tough. I don't. Maybe you can fight for number 2. I don't think you can fight at this point. Just getting into marketplace,
right?
In 2019, Amazon's doing it $7 billion in MRO. Even if you're a Grainger,
that's going to be tough.
I don't think you can beat them in number 1. I think now you're fighting for who's number 2. Hi, this is Alex from Winner Take All. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free to leave a comment, ask us questions, and definitely make sure to join us on our next live stream.